Greetings everyone. I am Rashanpreet Kaur, member at the Amicus Curie, and I'll be the moderator of the session for today. Before beginning with the session, Before beginning with the session, I would once repeat the general guidelines which are to be followed by every participant during the meeting. Please try to keep your videos on during the session. Keep yourself muted during the session. You can unmute and ask questions to the speaker during the questions and answers round. And if the speaker allows you to ask the questions in between, you can do it, but it will be up to the discretion of the speaker. I request everyone to follow these general guidelines during the whole meeting. Ma'am has joined with us, so we'll begin the session. So once again, I am Jashanpreet Kaur, member at the Amicus Curie, and I'll be the moderator of the session for today. I welcome you all to the session on gaming laws organized by Amicus Curie. On behalf of Amicus Curie, I would like to welcome our guest speaker of the day, that is Rachna Shroff, ma'am. So before beginning the session, I would like to give a brief about the TAQ and also about our guest speaker. The amicus curiae, that is TAQ, is the brainchild of several legal luminaries and eminent personalities across the country and the globe. TAQ is a dream online platform which aims at proliferating legal knowledge and providing an ingenious understanding with cognizance of various fields of law to make sure that legal knowledge and experience penetrates to every nook and corner of the ever-growing legal fraternity. Through ambitious and studious legal brains across the country, TAQ aims at providing valuable contribution to contemporary legal issues along with the development in the omnipresent field of law to the masses. We are also registered under Indian Partnership Act 1932 and Ministry of MSME Government of India. The Amicus Curiae is presently the eighth largest legal website in India. We are connected to more than 20,000 law students from across 80 plus law schools in India. So now a very brief about our guest speaker of the day, that is Rachna Shroff ma'am. She is a lawyer with 14 years of experience in the field of gaming, NBFC, and iron and steel industry while working with Asia's top law firms. She is also a gold medalist in MBA, and it has successfully enabled her in her role of in-house counsel in various organizations. Teaching being her passion, she has started her own law school, that is Laws with Rachna. It is an online law school with a mission to empower young lawyers and the law students by exposing them to real life scenarios. She is also a faculty at the Art of Living, where she conducts mind and mediation programs. So now, with the permission of our esteemed speaker, I seek permission to begin the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, thank you for such a wonderful introduction. I'll just put on my camera in 30 seconds. Please allow me that time.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Am I visible? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am, you are visible and audible.
Because I cannot see my own self on the screen, so I'm just figuring it out. Now I can. Okay. Hi, everybody. Can see a lot of cameras. Vanshita, Ravinder, Mehak, Jashan, Preet, Madhav. Wow, lovely. Great. And thanks for that introduction. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to get associated with Amicus. Uh, what a lovely and present interaction I had over this period with Rupam. I've learned in the process. The way he has kept his cool and he manages 101 thing is amazing. And thanks to Atrai who got me through Rupam. So my that's my word of thanks in the very beginning, because once we start the flow, it will be a flow. Hi Ravinder, nice to see you. Yeah, and so can we begin? Should I do a slide share?
Yes, ma'am, we can begin.
Okay, so Jashan, you are the moderator, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great. All right. So before we begin, I would like to uh, ask you guys. You guys are it's a full house, and we are getting requests that we want to join. So we've routed them to YouTube. I want to know why are you guys here? What are you expecting out of this session? What do you understand? See, three questions are here. Why are you here? What are you expecting? And what do you have an idea about the gaming laws? Come on, tell me. You can speak up. I'm okay with the idea of you guys, anybody speaking up but raising their hands or somebody typing it on the chat. We will look into both. There has to be takers. You will be driving this session in this webinar. You can tell me, why are you here? What do you know about gaming laws? Do you have an idea or you are absolutely new to it? Is there something
Uh,
popping up on the chat?
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm in a pre-law phase. He's yet to enter into law school. And I'm doing currently
Oh.
my internship at the Amicus Curiae. So I came to know
Uh-huh.
about this webinar, and I did not know anything about this gaming laws as several laws like media law and fashion laws, gaming laws. These are elective in nature in the college also. So to gain some knowledge about this, I came here to attend this webinar.
Okay, nice, nice. Now, welcome on board and may you have a great journey with law. Okay, what else? I saw somebody writing on the chat. It's an absolutely new subject, not usually taught as a subject. That's right. Arpita says, is it gambling? Really curious to explore these news law. That's by Saili, if I'm right. Uh, what else? What else, Siri? Muskan, go ahead. You've raised your hand.
I don't know much about gaming laws, but I guess it's about the gambling industry and some set of rules and regulations of gaming laws.
Okay, so there we begin. It's a very, very different industry, nowhere related to gambling. Yeah, so please break your first myth or your first concept that gaming and gambling are synonymous. No, they are not. And very happily, I would like to share this that now gaming has been recognized under the central laws of India, and that is the Information in Technology Rules 2023. Okay, what else? Everybody loves gaming but aren't aware, yes, that there are laws associated with it. So I would love to know more about it. That's why I'm here. Wow, great. Yes, so Muskan, we'll take you second. Nilesh, you can go ahead. Tell me.
A very good evening, ma'am. I
Yeah.
actually know I am actually an ex JE aspirant. That's why I know slightly a bit about coding and all. That's why I know that in each of these games there's an EULA, end user license agreement. I guess I'm just guessing that gaming laws are related to that. And apart from that, my main interest in this webinar is to just expand my horizons, and I would love to get into cyber law later in my profession.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, Muskan, you can go ahead.
Sorry, ma'am, nothing. I raised my hand before. So sorry.
No problem. No problem. Vanshita says, hi, ma'am. Good evening. I literally don't know anything about gaming laws, so I'm here to know about it. Very good. A blank slate is far better. Yeah. So, okay, that gives me a fair idea that we all are very new to the concept. um, but I won't like to start saying that before I do a see. I really don't need a PPT. I can speak and share much more than what's there in the PPT. Yeah. So you guys give me a call. Do you want the PPT or do you want me to speak? And while I speak, if you feel like you can take down some notes. What I shared. You can go and put it up on LinkedIn and tag me there if Amicus allows you that. As per the rules of Amicus. Yeah, very clearly. Yeah, yeah, Madhav, please tell me.
Ma'am, I think the best way would be if you put on a PPT and you can narrate it while showing the PPT to us. That
That
would
I
be a good
always
thing.
do, but if you guys say so, I'll definitely put up the PPT. Yeah, but I just felt like, how about just talking and taking questions directly? Whatever, I'll put up the PPT if that's convenient for you guys. Um, okay, PPT would be good. That's a consensus. All right, so I'll put up the PPT and restart. Give me a minute, huh? I'm just getting the PPT. Atray, are you there? Or Jashin, I'm not able to share it. Should I send it to you? Would you be able to share it for me? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am, you can send it. We'll share it from our behalf.
Yeah. Just drop me your email ID or pass it over to Rupam. Anything, just I'll share it in a second.
Ma'am, I'll drop my email ID.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can also share it to me over WhatsApp. I'll mail it to Jashanpreet.
Yes.
Or Jashanpreet can
Yeah,
ping
yeah.
directly to the ma'am as
That's
well. Yeah.
that's Rupam, right? Rupam?
Yes, yes.
I think.
You can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. Yeah, Rupam, I'm sending it to you. It sent it to you, Rupam. Did you get it?
Did you WhatsApp it to me?
Yeah. You get it?
No, I've not got it till now. Maybe.
Just check once again.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Great.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll share it. Yeah.
No problem. Whichever. So in the meanwhile, when we set up the PPT, just want to let you know that gaming is not to be understood as gambling, and where this gaming finds its existence is under the PGA. PGA is the Public Gambling Act, where gaming has been made an exception. Okay, that is Section 12 of the Public Gambling Act. Now, please note that Public Gambling Act is a pre-independence law. And when I say pre-independence law, do you understand? Because it's all based on technology, it is totally outdated. Because it nowhere relates to what today the world is going through, and it is very challenging for us as councils to deal with such old laws. I'll tell you about all those challenges because there are cyber crimes, there is hacking, there's so much which is happening on the technology front, and the law doesn't speaks about technology at all, or that what would be the punishment or what would be the penalty, or how do you deal with it, or how do you report it, nothing at all. So this industry has been really working in sync a lot together. When I say this industry, it means the gaming industry, so that they can get a piece of law which is with today's time, yeah, and the coming times ahead. So that is also the reason the Digital India Act will also start ruling the technology world very soon. But right now, it is the IT Rules 2023, which has been notified on the 6th of April 2023, under which online gaming has been recognized as an intermediary. Please note, till 2021, it was the social intermediaries, and the SSMIs, that is the significant social media intermediaries, and now online gaming has also been added. What I have just said, even if you know this, it's like giving a gist of the entire the history till today of what's the laws in the gaming industry. What is the main law? I've already spoken about it. Apart from this, of course, it is not that only one law shapes any particular industry. If you look at fintech, there are, apart from the fintech regulations, there are many other laws that, if you look at gaming, apart from gaming laws which I just spoke of, there are many other laws that make up that industry. So I can speak about consumer protection, I can tell you it is arbitration, it is companies act, it is bankruptcy code, it is the enforcement directorate, that is where money laundering, then all kinds of rules and regulation governing advertisements, the ASCII guidelines, the virtual digital assets guidelines, taxation is so important. So do you understand that what is the scope when you, if you work in a gaming industry, you actually deal with all such laws which can make you, enable you and make you that competent that you can deal with any technology sector. And that is my experience of 7 years, 5 years that I've worked in this industry from the scratch. I've been so lucky to deal with cyber crimes, to deal with litigations at different state levels, because this Public Gambling Act, interestingly, which is the Pre-Independence Act, has not been a central piece of law. It has been a state piece of law. And do you understand, when it's a state piece of law, what happens in this industry, that you have to deal with each piece of law for each state. It is not that you pick up one bare act and you are sorted. It is not the Contract Act, it is not the Partnership, it is not the Companies Act. When you deal with the Public Gambling Act, it has been stated under the Constitution that okay, it is a state subject, every state has adopted the PGA, and whoever wanted to make changes, they've made the changes. And whenever it is particularly with a particular state, you pick up that particular law for the act of that particular state and refer and do your work accordingly. So it was, as during the COVID, the one thing which rose was gaming. It made, because it was all online and people had time, so they really played, and of course it boosted the economy of India as well. That is the reason it has been given a place in a central piece of legislation. Yes, that is how big the industry is, and it is going to only boom in the next 2 3 years. So that being said, I was referring to that, when you are, I'm also speaking now in terms of when you are a lawyer in the gaming industry, you will not only deal with the gaming laws, yeah, you will deal with every part of technology, from dealing with tools that are required for a website development, to doing a master service agreement, to doing all possible technology contracts that you can think of, to doing a simple NDA, non-disclosure agreement, to maybe even doing mergers and acquisition. That is the power that the gaming industry holds today, because it is in the developing stage. And if you're somebody who's dynamic and really wanting to learn and contribute from the scratch, this is the place to be. Why? Because in India, there are everyday companies, not only Indian companies, that are establishing themselves as gaming companies. There are companies from abroad that are opening channels in India, and I have consulted, last in the last 3 months, I've consulted such 10 companies who are trying to open up in India, and they are just doing their piece of work to set up. Yeah. So I've been really very pro about this industry, because it is the time when my mission is to see the youth of India to do something new, and to put their feet in a particular area of law at the time when it is growing. because once it is done and saturated, you are just following the norms, right? That is also fine if that's your league. But if you want to contribute in setting that league, in setting those rules and laws, know what lobbying is, reaching out to the public think tanks, reaching out to the ministry, talking to the police agencies, uh, directing, training your entire company, telling your CEO of what's next, then it is the place to be. That's what the gaming industry holds for you. Yeah, and it is not that it's cakewalk. It is somebody who is really passionate about doing so much so that you contribute and you also see your growth. That is the place for the people who wants to be in this industry, because currently it is developing at a very fast speed, and you will need to put in a lot of work. Okay, so that's it. And if you are there, you will not be looking out for jobs, you will be picked up. That is my guarantee, that you will be picked up. It is just that people need to know that you have that interest, you know about this industry. And if you guys are very young, if looking for trainees and associates from the nascent stage is a huge requirement in this industry, because when they are opening up the channels, their companies, they are looking for people who can do a little bit in-house thing. They're looking for top senior people also, and people who are at the very nascent stage. All right, so that was to give you a view of how this industry will shape you. You will not be dealing with one law, you will be dealing with 10 laws and one piece of act for different 30 states, and you will have to deal with each of them separately. Okay, it's going to be challenging, but I would like to end this side by saying that I have grown multifolds by just being in this industry, and I'm very, very grateful. Yeah, let's move ahead and we can take the slides in the full screen if that's possible. I can just see the half screen of it.
Ma'am, it will be basically like if I'll do it the full screen, then I won't be able to like see the meeting.
Uh-huh.
So,
All
is
right,
it
but
fine if we do it in the?
I can't see anything at all. It's
Uh,
the fonts
is
are
the
like,
slide not visible?
the slides are visible, but the font is too small for me. Can you increase the font size?
Just a second, ma'am.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit of this font size. I can see now, but a little more would be really helpful. Great, thank you. So, what we learned today, what is the gaming industry scenario that I've already spoken, that how in foreign countries are trying to open up, and every day there are gaming companies opening up. Let me tell you, and it's a fact, okay? Judgments which are Bible to this industry. So when we get confused of whether it's going to be gambling or whether it's a game of skill or chance, you refer to these judgments, which is the Bible. Why I call it the Bible? Because any PIL, you're fighting any FIR, you're writing a letter to the government, you are creating a legal opinion, you're doing anything, you will find the reference of these three judgments. Forget that. Even if you write a LinkedIn post, and from today, if you decide, no, I want to take my career ahead with gaming laws, and you start writing on gaming laws on LinkedIn, if you write about these three judgments, it will show that you have the knowledge of how this industry shaped up and on the basis of which this industry is moving. That is why these judgments, and that's why we call it the Bible. Gaming and IPR, I want to really tell you how well technology and IPR are interlinked. You, you got to understand, if you know it well, but otherwise, please understand that without intellectual property laws, gaming cannot move ahead. Or the entire technology industry is heavily indebted by IPR. If they don't have IPR, they don't have an asset. And if they don't have this asset, they can be anytime, uh, be taken for a ride. In terms of, you can have lots of, if you're a popular brand, you can have a lot of links which maybe with just a few changes in their domain name and can misguide. But when you have your IPR rights protected, you can always knock the door of the courts and pull them down. I want to speak about the IT rules 2021 and 2023. which gave OGI, that is online gaming industry or online gaming intermediary. It's very sanctioned under the central piece of law, which is very important, because of which now gaming will be looked at uh, as a industry which is accepted by the center by at all levels. And this also enables the foreign investors to not think of or not be doubtful, because it was a challenge all this year we have faced it. Now with such rules coming from the center, the it's very easy to have foreign investments and have investors and funding easily, which this industry is looking at. Yeah. And it is not only limited to uh, real money gaming, it also involves fantasy sports, it also involves the casual gaming. So everything is referred to under the Public Gambling Act, and now also the IT rules 2023. Now, before I get into the slides, because what I'm speaking is all from the slides and a little more from that, I just want to tell you guys that with the new IT rules that have come up, and which has given notified online gaming intermediaries, given them the sanction, made it legit. What about this Public Gambling Act, which has been existing? So it has not been abolished. The state laws are existing as it is. Now, do you understand there is a state piece of law which is for each particular state, and there is a central piece of law? Now, there will be a time when there will be an intersection. It's already happened in the industry that there has been a judgment which was passed by a state. Most likely, if I'm right, it is Kerala, Kerala or Karnataka, either of them. And now it has been challenged because the IT rules have come up, and the case has been moved to the Supreme Court. It is against the industry, so the industry moved it to the Supreme Court with the reference to the IT laws. So it's very interesting to now see what is going to prevail. What is it going to be the state law, or is it going to be the uh, centerpiece of law? And we are a part of it. I have been attending those matters personally. So once we are good to go, we know for the final decision, I'll definitely write it and share it on my LinkedIn. I can keep a track of it. But it's a very good time for this industry, because a recognition at the centerpiece is nothing like it. You don't know need any more clarification to prove that you are gaming and not gambling, that you are existing on the basis of skill and not chance. Yeah. Let's move to the next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So these are certain facts that I've captured. You guys can read it to get the numbers in place. It says at 780 million, India is home to the second largest internet user base in the world, which is more than two times of the US population. With the accelerated growth of the internet and smartphone adoption, India is expected to surpass 1 billion internet users by 2030. An average Indian spends 7.3 hours per day on their smartphone. We can't disagree. One of the highest in the world. Gaming is, I'm sure you guys don't leave your phone only. सोते वक्त भी phone शायद मुंह पे ही. Okay, joking. Gaming is adding 2 million paid user per month. Every second internet user is a gamer in India. Many of you must be gamers. And every third transacting user in India is a paid gamer. Gaming has almost 450 million users in 2022. As I speak, the numbers has almost, 25% above, and the market will see a 33% rise in the paid gamers by 2026. These numbers have doubled actually. India is the fastest growing market in terms of gamers and revenue. A recent article spoke of how India would be generating a lack of jobs. That's very little. We are not adding a lack of jobs, but more than that in this year only. Because every, if you guys can go today and do job search post, and you will see every gaming website or platform is looking out for developers, developers, and gaming developers, publishers. They're looking out for marketing agencies. They're looking for marketing associates, what not. I have seen my company doubling, more than doubling, in this last 2 years. India has 900 companies, rectifying its 1,000 today. Okay, these are few numbers to tell you where you stand when you look at the gaming industry as a lawyer. Gaming, what is the noise? Gambling finds its. Okay, I think we skipped one slide, is it? No, by any chance? No. Okay. So as I was saying, it finds its place under the state list. Where does it comes from? It comes from the constitution, which says that it is laid down under the Shevich schedule, list 2, entry 34. And the PGA 1867, where I say it's predated, this because of the year 1867. And it's under this act which gaming has been made an exception, that is under section 12. All right, let's move ahead. Now, this is very important. What I'm going to just speak about the next three judgments, which has formed the base for this industry, which has formed the base for the distinction between game of skill and game of chance. How important this is today, also that today also, if you as a lawyer or an in-house counsel, you handling a firm and you're dealing with the gaming division, and if you have to roll out even a legal opinion, and there is legal opinion is upon a game which has been newly launched, and the company wants to be very sure before launching it that whether it will be categorized as a game of skill or a game of chance, you will be referring to these three judgments. And the criteria that has been laid down under these judgments, the knowledge that has been shared under these judgments, the analysis, the masterminds behind these judgments, if you just pick up those points, you can take up any game and you can see with your open eyes that how you can discriminate whether it's going to be a game of skill or a game of chance. So let's see this. So the first judgment that I'm referring to is the R&D Chamar Bhagwala versus Union of India. Here it has been observed that game of skills are business activity and shall be afforded the protection under Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution of India. So anybody who's conducting gaming is not gambling, yeah, and it's legal. It has been considered as a business under the Constitution of India 19(1)(g). Now, can you challenge this? Even if you challenge, it will be overruled. Games of skills when played for stakes. Do you understand the importance that something which the Constitution, under the Constitution, has been referred as a business activity? It cannot be but legit. Game of skills when played for stakes. Earning profits would be a legal business venture and would not amount to gambling. So, till now, when we were thinking like a layman, we were like, oh, the companies are making money, people are pooling out the money and winning out of it. This is sure betting, this is sure gambling. No, please note the judgment says you, if it's a business activity, why do you do a business? Certainly to earn revenue and make profits, right? And it is a legal business venture. Now, it laid down the dominant factor test, which said must be adopted to determine that a game where the success of the player is dependent on the substantial degree of skill, even there if there is an element of chance, will be termed as a game of skill. So one of the basic criteria from the above two which I've spoken of is that every time you need to determine a game of skill or a game of chance, how do you determine it? Whichever is the prominent side, whichever is the dominant side in that particular game, it weighs in that side. We are not ruling out that there cannot be chance. Certainly, any game has a luck factor. Yeah, every time when we win a match on the last ball, what do we say? That of course the player played it well, but of course the luck factor was also there, right? So it's never ruled out in any of the games that there may not be a chance factor. Certainly will be there. But what is dominating? Is it the skill? If it is so, it's a game of skill. Hence, a lot of games All these games that I'm going to speak about, be it poker, rummy, bridge, horse racing, or all those different versions that are out in the market today, have been considered a game of skill basis this dominant factor test that has been applied from the day this judgment has been passed till today. Hence, I also call it the Bible judgment of this industry. If you don't know this judgment, you will never be able to support your opinions or support any documents, whether you are representing or putting an affidavit before a pill litigation, or you are like giving out a legal opinion for your company. All right. Remember, whenever the dominant factor in a game is skill, it is a game of skill. The exercise of judgment, discretion, and reason have also been determined to be exercises of skill. So, if you're using your judgment, using your power of discretion, your reasoning while you're playing that game, if you're using all this, it's happening in your mind, it shows that you're exercising a skill. And when you are exercising a skill to play a game, it is a game of skill. Huh? But, did your light also go? Yeah, let's go ahead. Second judgment is the Satyanarayana judgment, 1968, which was in relation to Rummy. It says that the game involves skills such as memorizing the fall of the cards, holding and discarding the same, sufficiently qualifies as a game of skill for the purposes of gaming or gambling. Started very simply, it said that if there is memorizing of what you have, thrown in that bundle of cards and what you're holding, what you're going to discard, it all shows that you're applying your skills, and hence it's a game of skill. Yeah, let's move ahead, please. K.R. Lakshmanana is the third one, 1996. It says here the court dealt with the legality of the betting on horse races. So that although all games may necessarily involve some element of chance, a game can be said to be one of skill when the succession of a player depends principally upon their superior knowledge. Mark these words, very important. Superior knowledge, training, attention, adroitness, experience of the player, even if the element of chance necessarily cannot entirely be eliminated from it. Here, the term mere skill was interpreted as an example. So, even if there is mere skill in the game, it will be termed as a game of skill. And what are the factors that you can look into? That is the person who's playing applying some superior knowledge? Has the person undergone training? Is the person putting all his attention there? The level of adroitness, the level of experience of the player in that game. If all these elements are found, you understand that strategizing, analyzing, judging, yeah, you are observing the other side. All of this is a skill, and that makes it a game of skill. We even there may be a chance factor, but the dominant factor being of skill, it is a game of skill. Yeah, let's move ahead, please. Yeah, now which I've completed the laws, which are very important. Do you guys have any questions, Silver? Are you getting it? Are we all on the same page? Can you give me a yes, no, a shout out? So I'm with you guys
Yes,
before
ma'am.
we. All right. Thanks, Jen. Thanks,
Yes,
Ram.
ma'am.
Thanks,
Yes,
We are
Ram.
ma'am.
totally getting it.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Great,
Um,
great, great. Sanjana, Chanchal, Deepti, Samiksha. Yeah, that's what I want. Great. Aditi, Aditya, Priscilla, Chanchal, Arya. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So we all are waking up. Nobody is going to sleep. Thank you. Great response. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Oh, great. Love the response. Love the enthusiasm. You guys have boosted me. All right. So now when I say, going back to the slides, okay. Uh, Now when I said that this is a state piece of law, um, it has been very challenging to me because uh, I say I would enjoy the journey because I am in this industry because I love this challenge. Yeah, I would tell you that I'm really left with no time at the end of the day. But of course, it has led to my growth, and that is why I'm actually out here conducting these sessions because I would love, even out of few hundred people, if even out of few of you or all of you would get in this industry, it would be lovely, because I want our youth, our young lawyers to take up this industry, because it's really dynamic and it will lead to your growth. I have also said this earlier, that if you stay in this industry for 3 4 years, say you start today and you stay for the next 4 years, God, I tell you, you have no looking back. You will be picked up by different companies. Yeah. So now when I say why COVID had been tough, because this industry at one side was rising, we were going crazy dealing with the people, dealing with the revenues, because it was really going all at a spike speed uphill. And on the other side, what was very interesting was that the states were banning it. Different states were coming up with ban, and that was like uh, too much for us to handle at that time, because one side there is so many other things that is happening, and there one side there's one ban, and you've got to update the entire system, the organization, all your players around it, the fraternity comes together, right? And as lawyers, you have to read what is the order, is there an ordinance, how you start strategizing from that very moment of what next needs to be done to get over this ban. Is it actually a legit ban? See, if today I'm a rummy company, there are laws judgments which we just saw, which says it is absolutely legit, and if a state, being ignorant of the law, bans it, I would not let it go just like that, because you are stopping me from operating in a state, and one of those states may be one of my major revenue generator. I, as a gaming operator, may be suffering huge losses. So everything comes up on the uh, completely on the legal department. So the legal department contributes. I would say in the gaming industry, since it's shaping up, all the departments are really contributing. But if you're a lawyer, you will be contributing to the max. So during the same time, during COVID, Tamil Nadu, under its gaming and police law, it amended the Tamil Nadu Gaming Act and banned all form of online gaming, including game of skills. Now what happened, the Tamil Nadu, when it did that, it was by way of the legislation. It amended its piece of law, okay? And the Madras High Court, by its order, struck down a part of it, stating that there is no harm by letting this industry continue by regulating it. However, the same was challenged by the Tamil Nadu government, and then in October 2022, that's last year, the ordinance to ban online gaming was passed. Why? It was under the term online gaming, but still, it's very sad to see that judgments which are absolutely court are overlooked, and these bans continue just because a state has decided to do so. And it was allowed because they said that the government said that it was leading to money laundering, there was a lot of cheating happening, and they brought in a report of showing some around 17 suicide that has happened in that 7 8 months period, claiming that it has happened due to the addiction of these gamings, right? So a lot of things goes behind the scene. It has been again challenged, and it is pending before the Supreme Court of India to be heard. It was just heard at the High Court level. So whenever the actual face comes out of it, this is going to be interesting, because now we have a centerpiece of law. Let's see what happens. It can really turn the tables. So it's a wait and watch, but very interesting. We have our eyes on this judgment. Yeah. Next, please. Speaking about a few state, every state has certain things to look into. If I tell you about Rajasthan, so Rajasthan was a state which, again, I'm speaking about within this two period of 2020 to 2022, okay, 2020 to 2022, where all of these states did. So Tamil Nadu had a ban, Arunachal made a ban, and Arunachal, Tamil Nadu, and I think it was Kerala. Yeah, all of these came up with a ban, and these all are actually challenged and pending before the Supreme Court. Okay. Now, apart from that, I was speaking about Rajasthan. So Rajasthan came out with a very nice piece of legislation. I would say it was one of those legislation which was very to the point and was very correct, understanding the difference between game of skill and game of chance, which the other states has somehow not understood it so well, and they have passed the ban, outruling the Supreme Court judgments. But the flaw in the Rajasthan bill relation to gaming was that it was just limited to fantasy sports. So what happened? The entire industry, as I said, works very close knitted. It came together and it says that hey, if you have to pass a law, please pass it for the entire gaming industry, not one particular part of gaming. Yeah? So that still has to see the daylight. But that was one piece you can ever get your hands on. Read it, it's very well covered, and it has a resonance with today's IT rules 2023. Covering all of that, now let's understand what is the relation between intellectual property law and gaming. I leave the slides for you guys to read, but I gotta share something that we have a very huge portfolio of IP in gaming because that is their only asset. And do you know how valuable it is? Let's say tomorrow your company wants to do an IPO, wants to do an merger and acquisition, or wants to receive funding. Your valuation can be increased basis your IPR portfolio. That is how important it is. So if you guys are somebody who are interested in technology laws, um, coming to more precisely to be to gaming laws, you should definitely also get an understanding of the IP laws. If you know it, amazing. And so also of contract laws. Today, what I'm speaking of is just giving you a big overview because there is so much that is there and has happened in the industry. If if, if to share, it will take at least 2 to 3 days. But yeah, just start understanding that if you start looking at this industry, you want to know, hey, do I have a career? Where should I start from? uh, that's what I've been sharing more to tell you guys of what are the laws, how you can start a career where you've already taken the first step by knowing what today, by attending this session of understanding of what's there in it, what is it all about. Yeah. And you are those people who can always say that no, there are specific gaming laws, and no, it is not equivalent to that of gambling. So gambling, casino, lottery, betting is nowhere together with gaming. You can go out and say that, and you can start doing your research, right? Learn about it. And I can also, proudly yet humbly say that I'm one of the first lawyers in India to conduct gaming laws session. It might be that now you will see a couple of more other people also doing, and I'm very happy that it will spread the word across. But I'm the first one to start off with this, and people have really been looking up. Young lawyers like you have been really starting looking at it. I know so many moods that have happened, competitions that have happened, essay writings that have happened. Yeah. So get going, know this industry, put it under your niche bracket, and keep learning. You never know where there is an opportunity, and you might be able to showcase your skill and land your feet in it. If you land your feet in it, please stay for some time, because then you will be not hunting, people will be hunting for you. IPR, so when I said it's the most important asset, you got to know that you can trademark the logo, the tagline, you can copyright the website, the UI, UX, by its source code, but you can do the caricatures, everything that is on the website for these gaming platforms is their right, is their intellectual property. And you as a lawyer have to contribute and add value to these organizations, to your clients. Even if you're freelancing or you're working through a law firm, or you're being an in-house counsel, however you're working, you should always advise your company to go for the IPR of those particular games. Your company might be launching a tournament which is completely exclusively their brainchild and their idea, and would be one of the major mark of that company. You tell the company that hey, let's just get a IP rights on it, right? And every gaming company today is doing something like that, where they're creating their name brand value by bringing something unique through their platform. and that needs to be protected under the IPR. All right. And there are amazing cases under the IPR which are setting precedents under the gaming laws. Yeah, there's a lot of battle in the gaming industry which happens because of IPR. Let me tell you, well, since I've touched on this, I started off in my gaming company with the biggest dispute in IPR. The day I landed, there were some 30 cases on my table, which was just related to one IPR. Yeah. And that gave me the clarity that if you're in the technology side and you don't know IPR, doesn't works. Yeah. Next slide, please. So yeah, since I was speaking, this is one of the case. I'll read this for you guys quickly because we have to wrap it up, uh, and we have quite a few slides. I've been told that we need to be on time. Uh, so the case pertains to the use of the word Winzobazi in respect of a game offered by Wenzo. PokerBazi claimed that there has been blatant copying of the word PokerBazi. So PokerBazi is a website, and we all know that Winzo is a separate website. So Winzo launched one of its game which had the name Winzo Bazi. So PokerBazi said that hey, they have blatantly copied my word Bazi. So Winzo cited existing services using the word Bazi. So Windsor, to defend itself, said, "See, Bazi word is there at so many places like www.bazi.com, www.bazi.in, www.bazi.co.in, ESPN show Cricket Bazi, Times Internet Limited mobile app Bazi Now, Devanand's movie Bazi, radio show and music broadcast limited Dialogue Bazi, and the mobile app of Bennett Coleman by the name of Brain Bazi. That was the defense put ahead by Windsor. PokerBazi relied on the Info Edge India Private Limited Shailesh Gupta case, where protection was granted against the infringement of the word Naukri. Even though it was used in reference to employment facilitation, the court held that there is nothing on record to indicate that the word Bazi is commonly used in the industry. Yeah. So, how did PokerBazi win the case? It won the case on the basis of this judgment where the word Naukri, it was of the Naukri.com case, where it could prove that though even the word Naukri is a very simple word and we use it colloquially and we say that no, it means employment facilitation, but it is not used commonly in that industry. Do you see that not a lot of job portals speaks in terms of Naukri? Yeah. Similarly, Pokerbazi said that the word Parsi is not used very regularly in this industry, and there were no such records. And that made Pokerbazi win the case over Windsor, and Windsor had to drop down the word Bazi from all its record. So, do you see how imperative and how important your trademark rights can be? It was, of course, registered. Pokerbazi is a registered trademark of Pokerbazi Company, and Windsor using just a part word lost the case. Yeah. Yeah. You guys read the second part of it. I'll share the slides with you guys, but I have to move ahead so I can capture more for you guys. Yeah. So I will not go to the 2021 draft rules. I'll tell you what 2023 says. So 2023 rule 3 and 4 are where online gaming intermediary all rules and regulations have been given. And the most important part which has been now laid down is interestingly that the nodal ministry is the Ministry of Information and Broadcast, that is MeitY in short, has said that we're not going to directly going to look into their industry. It says we're going to look it from the eagle's eyes view. So it has asked that you create self-regulatory bodies. It has asked to create a mechanism in the industry which would be by way of self-regulatory bodies, and these regulatory bodies are going to take care of the entire gaming industry. Now, what are these self-regulatory bodies going to do? So, for this industry to operate, you needed a federation. There was a federation. You know, you go and see any new industry that comes up. from fintech to healthcare to edutech, all of these which have come up in the recent times, they all have created their own mechanism, own bodies. What does these bodies do? These bodies are to bring all of the fraternity together and to make certain rules and conditions on the basis of which would be the standard and the basic principle on which this industry would run. So these federations, you can say, are the pillars of these industries because of which they are running. And so is the case of gaming industry as well. So you will see a few names such as um, EFI, that is e-gaming sports federation, AIGF, FIFS, that is uh, Fantasy India. I cannot give you the full form, but whatever the short form is, if you search, you will know it and you will find it. It will appear on Google. So these are all gaming federations. Now they have played such a major role and they have such huge membership under them that they are changing and becoming SRBs, that is self-regulatory bodies, and setting down the mechanism of how this industry would be reported. Another very interesting part which has been mentioned in the new rules is that the SRBs are going to verify each games and are going to certify them. Once they are verified and certified, then only these games can operate. It has also given the definition of online game and permissible online game, permissible real money game. So that means only when an online game is given the permission by the self-regulatory bodies, then they will be allowed to be brought onto the platform. The entire intention is the vision behind, internet of the providing internet to the customer in a safe manner, in a trustworthy manner. So the focus is the consumer, the focus is the public under the entire law, and it says that you have to make sure that these games are verified before it is open to the public as large. So the SRB will play a very, very important role, because each game, not only like if you have versions of those games also, everything will be verified and you'll need those tags as a gaming operator on your website against those games, so the people know that you verified, you're legit, you're creating and exchanging that trust, and then they will come and play on your website. Yeah, so very solid, foolproof mechanism is coming soon out there. Yeah, in no soon time as I speak, it will be out there. And that's one thing. Another very important thing which has been laid down is having a clear grievance redressal mechanism on your platforms, which will consist of a grievance redressal officer who has to be in-house, resident of India. Then second is chief compliance officer. The chief compliance officer will look into all the compliances that has been set out under Rule 3 and 4 of the IT Act. And then there has to be a nodal officer who will be again a part of the company and will look into all the major issues that may arise. So three officers have been given under the redressal mechanism. It's not limited till here. Further, it goes to says that the SRBs are also going to have their grievance redressal model, where both the side, the user, the player, the client, however you want to name it, and the gaming websites or the gaming operators can come and speak of their grievance or raise their grievances. What happens after this? If the SRB cannot solve it, then the government, it was asked in the public consultation on this paper before it was notified. What happens that, when this SR said, and it can come to the ministry. And of course, when you cannot even do it with the ministry, you have the courts always. So that is how beautifully a mechanism has been laid. SRBs games have to be verified. Of course, your website policies all have to be intact. Further, it goes to say that earlier what these companies, if you go and read the TNCs, you will see that the TNCs used to say that, if you're reading the TNCs, we could be, if you're joining us, we understand that you've read the TNCs. And if there is any updation, we will be making it and it will be understood on our part. We take it for granted that you are equally uh, updated about it. But now it has been put under the rules that hey, it is mandatory on the part of such gaming websites and operators and platforms that you inform the user at least once in a year, updating about all the changes. So now, if you are somebody who's using gaming websites and you register, and such kind of mail comes where they say, hey, we have updated a policy, so just know that it is happening because of these new rules. Okay. um, yeah, the age limit is 18. This was also a point of consideration if you look at 2021 rules and the one which have been notified in 2023, that the industry really lobbied hard to get through the age of 16, but the government said nothing doing, we'll keep it till 18. Why 16 was lobbied again, if you understand it from the point of the industry, because you're going to work for this industry if you're a lawyer of the gaming industry. So understand it, because we know that today's generation is not waiting to be 18 to be on their phones or to play, right? It's a very young set of people who are playing, and if you allow them, then it is far more easier to keep a track of them, and you're not worried that they get used to it or they overspend the time. It is only when you restrain somebody they get too pulled towards it. If you allow it, then it's like you know it that you can have it, so you know to use your discretion. Hence, this was the reason. However, the government further also said that let's keep it 18 for your year and they might review it in the next year. That's also great news. Um, so that is what 2023 in nutshell consists of. So this is what the industry is all about. And the last slide, if we can jump to, I will show you of what all laws that I cover. I've already spoken, but still you will deal with contract laws, IPR, technology laws, taxation laws, media laws, legal opinions, consult startups. There are different licensing, website policies, cyber crimes, litigation, data privacy, metaverse, blockchain, NFT. There's not a single piece in this list which have not dealt in the last 5 years, and that is why I say that I have contributed and my growth has been manifold. And I definitely say that you guys should walk towards this industry. See, if you are somebody who's conventional, that's also fine. But if you're somebody who's really looking to grow at a great speed and learn about a new industry and create that as your niche, nothing like it, because this is my niche area and I know how amazingly it's going to, it's already booming, but there is much more still, even if you've not looked into it. And just imagine the number of laws that you deal with. I have dealt with the top notch uh, briefed the top-notch councils of India, from Harish Salve to Abhishek Shangvi. Yeah, you name it, and we get a chance to work with that. Nothing like it. For cybercrimes, traveled to Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai. I'm based out of. Yeah, you get to attend so many international seminars. It's an amazing. For me, it has been really wonderful. As I'll put myself at stop there and I'm open to all the questions. That's from my side for today. Jishin, you can call out the names and maybe take the questions if you have a question.
Yes, ma'am. So Divya has raised the hands. Divya, you can unmute yourself and ask your query.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is like you have said that this gaming is not about gambling, but ma'am, my question is, isn't gaming company gambling with the name of skill-based games like Dream 11 and My Circle 11? These are, we can say, with the name of skill-based game, they are gambling with the people.
Yeah, that happens at your stage. Yeah. Um, you think I spoke about the three judgments of the Supreme Court, and I just have to tell you that there's a very thin difference, Divya. And until and unless you really know the entire mechanism, I have also learned all the tools of this industry with a lot of effort. It was not a cakewalk for me. Even I took time for me to know, okay, the operations behind the gaming, the mechanisms behind the gaming makes it a game of skill. I know people who are playing and winning matches at world level, and our best, just like we have Roger Federer from tennis and different names from different gaming zones is number one. Similarly, they're number ones in the gaming industry also. And if you meet them, you will see how they train themselves, how they coach themselves, and how experience work for themselves. So that is why it takes a lot to understand, and it's not easy. So only when you read more and more, or when you work in this industry, you will definitely understand what's the difference. And Dream 11, Circle 11 are absolutely a game of skill. Yeah, because we just play it, we don't see or observe what's happening while we are playing. That is where these judgments come into action.
Okay, ma'am. I'll read about that. Thank you, ma'am.
So next we have is Rushan. Please unmute yourself.
A very good evening, ma'am. This is Rushan here. Ma'am, I remember when I was studying arbitration in my college, so there was this particular case of Pokemon Go in which the users had to accept a mandatory arbitration clause. And that particular clause was considered to be binding on the users, which was not based in India, but it was the arbitration was supposed to take place somewhere else. That, ma'am, actually violated the rights of many Indian users. So how does those gaming platforms are regulated, and how these policies can be framed so that Indian users are not their rights are not violated?
What rights were violated?
In that case, if something went wrong, they were not allowed to go to the other courts, like the civil courts or the criminal courts, but they had to refer their case to arbitration only. So the
That's the
company.
first step of dealing with a dispute. If so be the agreement, you've agreed to it, so it was not a violation of the right. If you are ignorant of the law, it cannot be said that it's a violation, right? If you're entering into it, you've read the TNCs, or you've checked the box and you've said that, okay, I've read the TNCs, hence, so it was not a violation. They'd agreed to it, and if this there is a particular tier set in, which would be by way of arbitration, followed by civil suits or injunctions or whatever it may be. It has been agreed into, it must be as per the TNCs, so that cannot be said to be a violation at all.
Yes, ma'am, I do understand, but ma'am, there are certain times where policies are framed in such a way that it benefits the.
It will be always like that, because if do you understand, see, when you're playing on a gaming website, please see the practicality side of it. You're on a website. If I'm that organization, if I'm that website, I have to convey all my rules and regulations to you through my website. I'm not physically interacting with you, right? Or neither I'm coming on a Zoom and interacting with you. So how is the company representing itself? Through its TNCs, right? It has to make those TNCs that's hard or one-sided. If you think it is one-sided, it is so because it is here to make revenue and not to deal with litigations, or not to keep continuing being charged. Yeah, if it keeps dealing with different kind of issues, when is the time for it to run a business and generate revenue? And it is not one. You look at it in the e-commerce platform, you go and look at it a pharma platform, you go and look at it a fintech platform, all will look to you one-sided if you're the customer. But you have to understand that they are here to make business, and they have to put certain things strong against you to deter you from doing such actions.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I had just one last question. How do you actually get into this industry? Like, you want to.
Pick up the skills, that's the first thing. Learn skills. If you don't, I think any industry today's lawyer, see, we admit the fact that we don't learn everything on in the law school, right? Because law is very vast. and it's very time consuming. But if there is something that interests you, go. You guys are very lucky. During our times, we didn't have the internet, neither did we had so many other facilitators teaching us so nicely. Yeah, you guys are damn lucky because of technology. You have n number of courses for one particular subject. You have the right to choose of where you want to educate and upskill yourself. Today, the world has a different dynamics. It's not limited to your degree. If you don't upskill yourself, you don't have your certifications in your place, you don't have the knowledge in that industry, it is very difficult also to start. Even if I take up a trainee, I would prefer somebody, let me be very honest, I would prefer somebody who would have some knowledge about this industry rather than somebody who's absolutely novice. If somebody has a little bit of industry also, I know he will add value, because I'm also looking for hands who support me. Yeah, you always don't have the time to train, and that's a fact. Yeah, so that's how you upskill yourself, do certificate courses, read about this industry, keep applying to this industry, and you will become a pro in no soon time.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So next we have is Prince Verma.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, there is any rule for the percentage or the ratio of skill and luck?
No, that's the dominant factor test. Wherever the skill will be more than that of chance, it will be a game of skill.
That is decided according to the case, ma'am.
That is decided per case basis. Correct.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ravinder, you had your hand raised. Do you have any query?
Yes. Where and how these disputes are actually resolved, like gaming losses,
It,
talk about
it can be
gambling
it
and
can begin from anywhere, you know.
courts or by companies.
Yeah, there are a lot of PILs, so you have to go to the courts. If it is there is an FIR, you move it to from a district court to even to the higher courts. There is there is if a consumer grievance, you will fight it out at the consumer redressal forum, right? At every different forum, it finds its place. If there is an arbitration, there's a dispute between the vendor. I have hired a marketing vendor to leverage my brand. Yeah, between the organization and the marketing brand, it can be by way of an internal solution, by negotiation, mediation, arbitration. Every platform, as you see in any industry operates, here also I said there is cybercrime, there are litigations, there are contracts. I spoke about all the laws that attracts. Is that answered for you?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So, ma'am, we have two questions in the chat box. The first one is from Sayali. She says, "Good evening, ma'am. My question is that many times women do not feel safe in the online gaming world. Even several women hide their gender to avoid the harassment while playing the games online. I'm not that aware of the gaming laws yet, but I would really like to know your take on this."
So, very honestly, the current laws will take care of this, because no obscenity, nothing harassing should be happening in the DIA, and the IT Act takes care of it very well. As far as I know the world's top poker player who's a woman. Okay, and she never hides her identity. It's nothing like that. That people, it's a very old school thing where women feel unsafe in the online world. It's no more like that, and people are outrightly going and playing it. And if it is so, you have the laws in place, and they're very strict laws under the IT rules, at least very strict. Yeah.
So the next one we have a statement from Radham Arora. Gaming industry can skyrocket only when esports get recognizable. Esports is the backbone of the gaming industry at the global level.
Is that a statement
I
or
guess
is
yes,
that a
ma'am.
question?
Maybe a statement because
And if there
I
is a
don't see any
question, what
question
is?
in that.
Yeah, looks like a statement. So be. So be it. If that be your thought, I have my different set of opinions here too. So if that's a statement, I welcome your statement.
Yes, ma'am. So next, Deepto Giri has raised the hand. So please kindly unmute yourself.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, so ma'am, my question is that in many games, we are being
Can you
there
be a bit
comes a
louder,
pop-up
please?
message that
Can't
you have.
hear you. Your network is also
Okay, ma'am,
really.
in many games, there comes a message that you have to enter your email ID. So we enter our email ID, and then the game starts. Now we all know that email ID is the place where all bank accounts are linked and PAN accounts are linked and such things. So entering this email ID doesn't give a barrier or a halt to privacy. Does gaming law do not cover this extent?
So I could get a part of your question, Dipto. Your network was very bad. However, what you're trying to say, and if I got it rightly, let me make it very
Ma'am,
clear.
I am just trying to say that if means when we enter our email ID in our game, then there can be a sort of what I mean to say is damage to privacy or a halt to privacy. So does gaming law do not cover this privacy part? Means it is a part that we should be concerned of.
Yes, so if you think it is private and you don't want to feed it, it's your choice. Don't give it, don't play. Simple. You have that right. Yeah. And if tomorrow, once the data protection bill is out, you will have a right to, get all your data out of the systems also. So you have power right now also, and you will have power tomorrow also. If you are giving it and you worried, don't give it, don't play. Simple. The companies are asking, they put it very well in the privacy policy, they put it very well in the TNCs, and you have no claims to make whatsoever because you are feeding that email ID, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Is there any other query? Like you can either raise your hand or maybe type in the chat box.
All right, so I don't think so there are any more questions. I think we're done for the day, Jashin. Thanks a lot
Yes,
for
ma'am.
having me.
Yes, ma'am. So, even on behalf of the amicus curiae, I would like to express my sincerest thanks to you for your presence in the session. Your insights and expertise were really very invaluable and they are greatly appreciated. I'm sure that, like, all the audience might have learned a very great deal of about the gaming laws throughout the session. And your ability to distill such complex things into like very simple, easily understandable concepts is really truly impressive. Like, as none of us would have ever thought that becoming aware of this thing is the topmost priority. Like, it'll lead to so many new jobs in India, like about a lakh
Correct.
jobs just in 1 year, like in
Correct.
2023, as we are facing the unemployment crisis and all. So we feel
No, no,
fortunate to.
India is not under the unemployment crisis.
Yes, ma'am. Like,
So,
just as the myth is there that we are facing.
yes, 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 right,
Yes,
right.
ma'am. And so we feel fortunate to have the opportunity to hear from you on all this. So once again, thank you for your time, insights, and the passion for the session. We are grateful for this opportunity, and we hope to have a chance to work with you again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jashin. It is great having you as my moderator. Thanks, Rupam. Thanks, Satray. And thanks to all of you for showing so much of interest. If you guys can show me some thumbs ups or just write a yes that you understood you and you're going to explore this industry, you guys can follow me on LinkedIn. Keep sharing something on this, so it will be a value addition. Yeah, by the name of Rachna Shroff. Oh, lots of thumbs ups. Thank you so much. Huh? That's lovely. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Samiksha. I think that's it from my side. I'll take your leave.
The participants are
Yes, Josh.
requested to kindly stay in the meeting for attendance. Yes, ma'am, we can leave in case the participants are requested to stay.
All right. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Jason, can you please take a screenshot of the participants
Thank you,
present in the
ma'am.
meeting? Guys, I request for the participants to please stay because after that, don't complain about the attendance. Please stay for 2 minutes.
Guys, just a second. Let me just take the screenshot of the attendance, and after that, you all will be free to leave.